I love the explosion of orange joy that was Chris Cody, who has fired coaches, who has invested in a hockey team for the first time in his life, who has a high-scoring machine of a team that has made him feel bold and cocky, that Chris Cody has teetered all over the playoffs already, and it's round 1 against 8, but people have been talking up the Panthers all season. He gets to front run. He gets points
You're talking to a season ticket holder over
That's
here. There's
right.
no front running here.
Exactly.
You and your dad.
Multiple
Day
years.
one. Yep.
Last season and this season.
Yep.
I get a little jealous about how like Dan talks about Roy as this legacy hockey fan. We've been in the battles. We've been at the David Booth games. We were there in 96. We were there during the doldrums. We were there when we took our first playoff series lead in 2012, only to
tell
get our
him.
hearts ripped out of our chest. But please, keep talking to Chris like he's some Johnny-come-lately.
I was at Game 7 versus the Avalanche. Were you, Roy?
It was game 4.
Game
It was
4.
It was
That's
fun.
fun.
Game 4, whatever. Game 4, the one that went to like 3 overtimes.
look,
I was
you
at
are-
that.
No, you,
The Lynch.
That's unbelievable. They were swept.
It's all falling apart.
The truth.
Yes, it is.
The truth of the matter is, okay, I don't know who's a bigger hockey fan here, Mike or Roy, but it's going to be close because Mike worked for that team. Mike cares about that team. Mike yesterday, in disguise, as I'm asking about the great energy of the postgame show, as Stugotz shows up and Greg Cody's hanging around.
Why are you leaving me out of this conversation?
Yeah, well,
I mean,
I'm not. I'm including you right now. What do you mean I'm leaving you out of it?
I grew up in Hockey Town. I mean, Parkland, Oakland,
Okay.
Detroit, Oakland
Well,
Park,
okay,
Sunrise,
well,
the surrounding
all right.
area, Plantation,
all right.
Hockey Town, baby.
All right, we'll get to your Panthers resume in a second because you did show up like a conquering hero yesterday to come root on the Panthers and anoint them over from Parkland, making the 27-minute drive that do you guys know that during Samson?
27.
Do you guys know that during Samson, he legitimately interrupted a question of mine by handing me an invoice for $500?
I did. I actually did. I have it right here. Let's see if I can find it.
He interrupted
Yeah, it's right there.
I was asking.
$500.
He tried to.
I mean, you might want to pay it.
He tried. Well, where's the proof that you did it in the time that you said?
I was at the game 15 minutes flat. I mean, I have video proof, actually. I do have video proof.
So you left your house after the puck dropped?
Yeah, and I set the timer when I was about 6 minutes away from the arena. I mean, it was a genius move.
If you can produce
a lot of traffic around there, Hockey Town.
If you give anyone in the world video proof, even a poorly photoshopped thing, I will give you $500.
I got it.
If you want to submit anything that resembles proof that you made the drive from your house to the arena in under 15 minutes.
I am telling you, I jumped in my bandwagon, Dan. I was there in 14 minutes flat. Minute to spare.
Okay.
I'm serious. I took pictures.
But this is the part that I'm going to find funny. Okay, yes, you are a wonderful Panther fan. You have been all your life. Roy, this is his favorite team in town. Roy, and it's been for legitimately a quarter of a century.
Roy's been a fan during the dark times, and that's the metric of what a big fan you are. Not to come now during the playoffs, Mike Ryan and Chris Cody. It's when you were there when they were trash.
Why are you questioning us?
That's not fair.
I thought Rostislav Olech was going to be the answer.
Jay Boatmeister, #1 overall pick.
Oh, what an Iron Man.
I thought Mike Keenan was going to take this team to the highest of heights.
We all did.
I
yeah.
awkwardly stood next to Mike Keenan on a company elevator.
My point is,
Wow.
Wait, how did you awkwardly stand next to him?
I just was silent.
Did you
Well,
face him instead of
Mike
the
Keenan's
front
got
of
a
the elevator?
presence.
It's
Put it on the
Keenan
poll.
there.
Does
When
Mike
you're next
Keenan
to-
have a presence?
Yes, and when you're next to Keenan, it's awkward because he's so serious.
Well,
I mean,
I was trying to figure out whether the awkwardness was in standing next to Mike Keenan or was he standing awkwardly, meaning like facing Mike Keenan rather than the front of the
No,
elevator.
I was just looking at the buttons. You don't.
you don't
face
look at Mike Keenan.
Or look at the back of the elevator.
Everyone knows it.
It's
Mike,
like the Ark of the Covenant.
you were in an elevator, just you and him, and what you were pressed against was his reputation.
Now, I was pressed against the buttons because I wanted to get as far away from him. But yeah, because Mike Keenan entering his time in Florida was alleged, just like Jacques Martin was alleged.
Wow.
And it just never worked out with any of these people. We had a couple good coaches going. We let seemingly every good person go to Las Vegas, and it felt like hope was lost. But then this young core started coming along, and now they lead a series for the first time in the NHL playoffs in 10 years.
Yeah.
And they are on the precipice of winning their first playoff series since 1996.
And it will have been earned because we've been talking about this team, okay, a lot all season. And what we've said is, oh, wait, if they start playing one of those games in the playoffs when they're down 3 goals and it doesn't matter because look at how they play. The playoffs don't affect them. They affect the playoffs. Let's see if people can stop them from scoring 4 and 5 goals. And finally, for the first time, you saw the team that you invested some hope in because the first 4 games, it was like, oh, no, we're going to lose to the playoffs. The playoffs are a different game and Washington's really good.
You talk about that fear all the time, Dan. In that building, everyone was terrified. They thought the season was over at 3-1 and then potentially 4-1. That goal was waved off.
But it's 3-0,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, where's the pan? It's 2-2. You've got the best home record in the league. You're better than they are. Where's the team that won the President's Trophy? And you guys are fit. The point I want to make in the middle of this is that as Roy throws around his bona fides, as Mike throws around his, as Chris Whittingham tries to get in from a corner, Mike said last night that he was going and he made a line, a mark. I asked him, are you going to hang out with Stugotz and Chris Cody and get drunk with Roy and do a post-game show? And Mike made the point of, I'm here only officially as a fan.
Yeah, that's how I go to games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to participate in the content. I am not here to work. I am here as a fan. And as Roy is in the shadows and Mike is in the shadows, who's dancing behind Mike Deepak's squalling?
I'm playing both sides.
on channel 7, but a vibrating, undulating, orange, and really celebratory Chris Cody in the middle of the Panthers celebration.
Who wouldn't do that? Listen, I could have lifted a house after that game. I was fired.
He was jacked up. He really was.
If I walk out of your section after that game and I see a guy doing a live hit, who's not going to go behind him and go,
A professional media member.
I got to go record a post game, but
That was great. That building was electric afterwards.
God.
This is the national portion of the show. We're in hour 1, right? So we should also mention that there were 2 NHL playoff games that started 3-0 with the Rangers season was actually on the line, but it felt like the Panthers season was also on the line too. And both teams overcame their 3-0 deficits to win that game 5-3. The NHL playoffs are absolutely electric this year.
this is only the first round. This is only the first round, too. I was thinking that last night.
2.5 months to go. I mean,
holy crap.
Yeah, locally, there might be a situation here coming up on Sunday where you have 2 local Game 7s.
Oh, God, I hope not.
I'll be at both of
the
them.
Capitals aren't coming back here, man. That team is done.
You think the Capitals are done?
I think
The
they both come
Capitals
back.
are done. The Sixers are done. Those series are over.
I think we get 2 Game 7s.
We will have time for that. We will have time for all of that. But please allow me for a moment again. As Stugotz, and please get Tim Reynolds on the line.
Tim Reynolds doesn't want to join us. I don't know what happened with our relationship with Tim Reynolds. He's gotten all pissy lately. On Twitter, he went at me when I was like giving him credit for a report one time. He doesn't want to come on. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, sure, sick your fans on me." I'm not Tim.
No,
I don't know what happened along the line. I'm very sorry that we're funny and it maybe landed on the wrong side one time. But we don't mean anything. We just want to giggle.
Let me talk to Tim Reynolds off air. I will try to settle this journalistic.
We don't want it settled. I don't care if you settle
We did just talk to Tim Reynolds on the air, and if he's going to treat Chris Whittingham like that, and he's going to talk to you a different way, I'm not interested. No, Tim Reynolds, you're banned.
To hell with Tim Reynolds.
You're banned.
To hell with Tim Reynolds.
To hell with him. To hell with him. To hell with him. Don't talk to people like that. We didn't do anything to you. We've been a supporter of yours. He's generally had an unctuous reputation around town, and I've always been a Tim Reynolds guy. Sorry, guys. I don't see it. I don't see the problem with Tim Reynolds. But after that text, get out of here, man. I've given you. This is like strike 4. I've given you 3 strikes prior.
I'm so sorry. I don't understand how you're involved in
every day, grinding on NBA radio, and you just show up and just steal the stuff and just change the name. Get out of here, you thief.
Whittingham.
Whitty's mortified.
You're talking about Nick Wright.
How did you?
Wow.
Aren't we all?
Whittingham, how did you get dragged into this? How did Tim Reynolds treat you? I want to just settle it and talk to Tim Reynolds because
I apologize to Tim Reynolds. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Stugotz, I'm not apologizing. May I for just a moment because I don't want to disrespect. I don't want to disrespect poor Tim Reynolds here as we ban him.
He's disrespecting us, Dan. You want to know how Whitty got dragged into it? You said, Talon said, get Tim Reynolds on the horn. And you know what the producer does? He acts swiftly, and he tries to get Tim Reynolds on the horn. Tim Reynolds wants none of it, to the point that he read me the text, and I'm like, wow, that's a bad look for Tim Reynolds. So if you're going to stand by and welcome that guy into our show, knowing how he talks to this producer, that's on you, and welcome to Strike One, my friend.
You going to stand with us? You going to stand with Reynolds?
I'm sick of this guy. I'm sick of every time. For 10 years, I've been defending Tim Reynolds.
Thank you.
And all of a sudden, he's got a problem with me. Been your strongest ally. Everyone tells me, ooh, there's something going on with that guy. Ooh, he's kind of a jerk to me. I'm like, I don't see it. I find him quite humorous. And now, multiple times over, he does this to my friend, my former intern, who's I've seen grow from getting coffee to calling national games on television. Tim, Excommunicado. You're done. You're done.
So proud of you,
You know
man.
what? Stugotz can yell as loud as he wants in that press box. You know why? Because he's got cachet, national cachet. And if you're on a deadline and you're a writer, you either get up and you leave, or you sit there and you deal with it. You don't be passive aggressive, and you don't send Chris Winningham that text.
And fuck Nick Wright.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
No, right.
Okay, is this?
He just wanted to get that on the end of that clip we're going to put on social.
You said you ended your text, Tim. Sick the fans on me. Now you got it. You're getting what you asked for, Tim Reynolds.
Dan, you know, security is walking through the press box, and you know who they give a shout out to? Me and Chris Cody. You know who they didn't recognize? Tim bleeping Reynolds.
They hit me with shiggles.
Get the hell out of here.
They hit me with shiggles right after we got yelled
fans?
at.
You wanted this hellstorm?
No.
You wanted hellfire and brimstone, Tim Reynolds?
No.
You got it.
Okay.
Check Reddit.
Right.
Go.
All right.
Check Reddit today, Tim Reynolds.
Ooh, Reddit's going to be boiling.
I need to stop. I need all of us.
I'll invite you to the Discord. We can have a kind one.
I feel like the side of my face has been scorched with what I believe to be a historic and unprecedented first ever. And I did not have Tim Reynolds being the recipient of this. Just a ban that included the pelvic thrust of Excommunicado.
That's how you do it.
That is a historic ruling, and I must just bow and genuflect before it. And no matter how I may side with Tim Reynolds and the sanctity of the press box, I must side with our army and lean against Tim Reynolds and tell him, you do not talk to our producers that way.
This is an intervention, Tim Reynolds, because all around town for a long time I've always heard that guy kind of dickish, and I've been like, no, funny. That's what people say about you at parties, Tim Reynolds, and I'm always there defending you. And then that Joe Brady story came out, and you went at me, the person that's always been. I don't see him being dickish. You judge people by how they treat the little people, and he didn't even treat Stugotz. Well, Stugotz is a big-time national star, and he treated him like absolute dog shit. I don't like it, Tim Reynolds. You and I, not friends.
Were you ever
And
friends?
the next time your name comes up at a cocktail party, which is rarely, I might add, and they're talking shit about you,
I love it.
Guess who's joining in the fray? This guy. Don't you ever talk about my producer that way. Don't you ever do that to Stugotz ever again.
Thank you.
And if I've got a Hurricanes report and I'm giving you a hat tip, you accept the goddamn hat tip because I'm making you now. That's right. This show is bigger than you.
Yes, by a lot.
No.
I mean, he's big, though.
By a lot.
No.
You burned your last bridge, my friend. It's charred up. It's in embers.
How'd that get in?
This is what I don't understand about what's just happened. And this is playoff hockey, my friends, because all of this happened because Chris Cody, bloated and pink from last night, soaked of booze, came careening in here because he's a winner. The Panthers are winners.
I can tell you, though, Tim Reynolds has some sort of clout in that media room, that press box area, because Chris Cody was mortified that we had upset Tim Reynolds. And I started laughing. I'm like, it's Tim Reynolds.
I'm scared right now. This is my first week covering the team. Look what I've created.
Okay, and this is the monster. This thing is burped, okay, because...
All for Will Manso.
Yes, look.
Don't leave out Goldie.
Look, you'd understand. Look, this will not be seen as a defense of Tim Reynolds. It will not be. I won't allow it because you've got to allow me the dismount because Tim Reynolds is trying in a professional press box to adhere to old journalism standards in this town and around sports. And now Chris Cote has arrived. He got here 7 minutes ago. Yeah, we know you've been going to these games 15 years, big boy, but Chris Cote's in town now, and he's going to bump up against your press box. And our sport is going to be celebrated in this town. These guys have been dying to celebrate this team. God damn, man, it's been uninteresting.
He didn't seem happy. I mean, we were. Tim Reynolds seemed like he was a misery.
But he was in the middle of work. But I just want the place I want to stop. So
are we. I mean,
I don't know if I can climb. You guys help me as a group ruling because we stand together on this.
Do we?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But when Mike puts up the X of Excommunicado, and I think, oh my God, that's a historic band. I've never seen our show come down on somebody with this ferocity. When then he says, after that, when I think that's, okay, Excommunicado, that's never happened before. That's the highest he could go. When he escalates it beyond that to Tim Reynolds, you and I, not friends.
Wow.
Not friends.
I was under the impression we were friendly, but that something along the way changed. I'm not sure what we did. We were just being our jolly selves.
But you have announced publicly before talking to Tim Reynolds, who you thought was your friend before this. You say this is the line right here, beyond Excommunicado.
Yep. Look at this right now.
Beyond
Twitter.
No.
Don't do it right now.
Bye, Tim Reynolds.
No.
Don't do it. This is bullying.
Mute him. Don't block him.
Mute him.
He's blocked.
You're blocked. No, Mike.
Silly me, I played myself. Now I won't get luge updates and the occasional LaSalle basketball tweets. Ooh, I'm so scared.
This is bullying, cyberbullying. Cyberbullying.
Yeah.
do you stand with us? Did you unfollow?
I do.
Ooh,
I realize
who's going to be the alternate in skeleton? Oh, God, my day is ruined.
Unfollow, Dan.
The playoffs.
I was not following him.
Look,
How
the
about
playoffs make us crazy. The playoffs make everybody around here nuts. Look at Chris Cote. He was jumping around behind Mike DePasquale, and I've been trying to get back to that moment for a second because, as he said, at that moment, I could have lifted a car.
It's a house.
A car, that's a fine.
No, last night
I texted you a car.
Me a car. By the time he careened here this morning, it was a house. A car was insufficient. He's like, you don't know what I was feeling everywhere in my body when I bumped against Mike DePasquale standing in the middle of the glee, and you said, my moment, bitch.
Wasn't even my beef. It is now.
Yeah, it is.
You come at my friends? Oh, my God. I went to bed steaming mad when I saw the description. And I thought it was E.J. Radick, and I was going to give E.J. Radick every single piece of my mind that I could. And when I found out it was that by Tim Reynolds, I went mad because cut to the cocktail party situation that has happened several times. And I've been like, no, guys, not a dick. Not a dick. No, he's funny. It just lands wrong sometimes. I don't know what we did, man. I don't know what we did.
I've always liked Tim Reynolds.
I always
Not
used to
anymore.
like Tim Reynolds, too. And somewhere along the line, the last 4 years, relationship got a little lukewarm to the point that he felt comfortable coming at me. Maybe something was lost in communication.
He's a media legend in this town, is he not?
No.
What?
He's not a media legend.
What are you talking
He's not a media
about?
legend. Here are media legends in this market. Edwin Pope,
Greg Cote.
Greg Cote, Dan Le Batard,
Yep.
Barry Jackson?
Dave Hyde.
Dave Hyde.
Jackson,
That's a good
No. The columnists. They become the stars.
Okay.
That's the entire list?
That's a list.
That's the list. That's it.
Michelle Kaufman.
Well, Billy Corbin's been going after her lately on the stadium stuff.
Billy Corbin goes after everybody.
How about Izzy?
No, not in print long enough.
No. Oh, wow.
How about Sedano?
No, not
Never
in
in
print ever.
Skolnick?
I mean, he was climbing up there, but kind of like Chris Paul. Like, why is he wearing so many uniforms?
Now you're just going to sideswipe everybody. You're going to take everything. The hockey will make you crazy.
Chris Paul might be the greatest point guard of all time, but why is he in an Oklahoma City jersey?
I feel like playoff hockey. My car looks like playoff hockey. I went to a single game.
Stugotz.
There are ticket stubs. There are things everywhere.
I swear to God.
There's a Kind Bar wrapper around. I mean, everything's going on.
I'm going to go to D.C., and if I see TJ Oshie in public, I'm ripping his head clean off to the point that there will be no blood.
Good.
I will cauterize the wound with the ferocity in which I tear TJ Oshie's head off of his shoulders.
Cauterize?
I want to get to going from down 3-0 to worshiping today at the throne of I did not have it. Nobody had it, right? It wasn't going to be Carter Verhaeghe. It was going to. Maybe they do that at 5-3, but he's not going to be the one at the center of everything. So we can celebrate him because now we've learned that he is swaggy.
Yeah, I see a lot of sarcasm with the Cardi V stuff, the swaggy Verhaeghe, the dialogue, and this is not at all a surprise to me. I mean, having a game in which you have 5 points, I'm surprised when Sidney Crosby does that or Connor McDavid does that. That's a lot, but him taking over a series. Not at all a surprise. That guy has been, when he's on and in form, he's honestly right under the level of Huberdeau and Barkov. He's a really good hockey player. We were lucky to get him from Tampa. He's a Stanley Cup champion.
5 points after having the game winner in Game 4, and they have him on the cheap. Like, Jer Bear was telling me it's 2 years, $2 million. Like, think about that. That guy just won you a playoff game and likely a playoff series. Crazy.
But Mike Ryan and Roy, and more recently Chris Cody, but Whittingham too, have been around the feeling nearby of, hey man, playoff hockey is really cool. It's really, really fun. It's crazy. The whole thing is nuts. These people are skating around and it's exhausting, all of it, if you care. And we have not had this feeling here in 25 years. We've got a good team. You know it. This is a mild investment to a town that does not invest in anything but bandwagons. So give us the most exciting team in the league, and they score a bunch of points. And yeah, 3-0 against them doesn't matter all season. And last night it's here. Pivotal moment. And Mike has been wanting to snort this for 10 years of going to those games when it hasn't been this, when you're rooting for, Pavel Bury's teams or something else. Mike came up loving sports through the department. That's where you started working, right, Mike? Like, that was your first sports job.
Because in 96, that team and that run, that became my favorite team in all of sports. And out of high school, excuse me, I lost my voice absolutely murdering Tim Reynolds.
Mm-hmm. Not at the hockey game.
No. But come see me. Fuck around, find out. I went to a job fair at the Miami Heat were throwing, and I met this guy Connor Tinnis, and he gave me a terrible internship in the sales department. And my job for 3 months was to upload all the white pages into an Excel doc.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
No.
It's why do what you got to do.
It's why I needed LASIK surgery. Like, it lost all my eyesight. And then this was during a hockey lockout, and Michael Yormark was working there, and they laid a bunch of people off to the point that I rose throughout the company very quickly, despite not being paid. I was there for a year and a half before I got wise that the drive from Westchester to Sunrise on $0 was probably not a great idea. Then another lockout happened, and my passion for hockey was replaced by other things, but I've always wanted and hoped for this day. I've always wanted to recapture the magic of 96 and that cup run, because there truly is, if you're invested, nothing like a Stanley Cup hockey run. Yes, parades down Biscayne with the Miami Heat is great. It's especially great when you have the whole nation hating you with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. But there is just something about the drama, about living and dying with every trip down the rink with a lightning fast sport that just gets you on edge the entire time. There's truly nothing like it in sports. And I'm so happy that the Panthers won last night, because no matter what happens Friday night in D.C., you got that home game in your back pocket, and it'd be absolutely electric if it happens.
20,000 people showed up to last night's game.
20,023, which is Verhaeghe's number.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Yes.
But Dan was so right. We all made fun of him, the pain stuff.
Yeah.
Last night was so much better because they were down 3-0. Yeah. The pain made it better, Dan. You were right. It was fucking amazing.
I would tell you the Avalanche are doing quite fine, though. Like, they swept, and they're fine. They're on to the next round.
Yes, they didn't have as much fun as we did last night.
No.
Nope.
You're right. You're right.
No, but it's going to be brutal. It just started. When does it end? Like, wait till 6 weeks from now if they make the run that you want them to make, because this is as easy as it gets. This, right? I mean,
it's supposed to be. It's a bad matchup.
It's a terrible matchup, but still, it's going to be a grind to just get through this to now the better teams, and maybe we fall on our face. We fall on our face 2 games from now, and the whole thing ends as fast as it started.
The Washington Capitals are such a sound team. They won't make the mistake that you can seize on. How many times have we seen the Panthers get their forecheck going, and all of a sudden it's a 2-on-1? They barely have the advantage. They immediately run to the corners of the rink, and they take the entire rink away from you. The Capitals are such a sound, veteran-savvy team. They have championship pedigree. It's really like a nightmare scenario for a team that hasn't won a playoff series, that comes in as President's Trophy champions and had those expectations and that huge monkey on their back. It's a nightmare opponent. And if they get by it and they prove that they can win multiple games just grinding it out, and now all of a sudden you have a goalie that's winning you games, all of a sudden Bob is tapped into his Columbus self, this could be special. This could be the opponent this team desperately needed to launch pad them to further success in the postseason.
And last night, their forecheck, it was the best of the series, their forecheck. And they finally got their transition game together. Finally. Those 2-on-1 breaks that led to goals last night, that was...
Horny.
That's what the Panthers were.
Horny goal. Horny.
Yeah, that was
Intimidator, though, horny.
It made me tweet
Beautiful
out the
pass
single
from
most
Verhaeghe
problematic GIF I think I've ever had.
And now Roy is going to bounce to Washington, leaving this is one of the few times that Princess Claire has been left behind. The hero Roy fights this Roy because as much as Mike is here proudly giving the bonafides, yours match his. Even Whittingham, the 2 Chris's would say that yours is this is the biggest fandom that exists in the room.
That is correct. That is correct. I'm a Marlins fan, yes, but I have the passion for the Panthers. And we're finally, I'm excited. Let's go.
Roy was so into it. I felt so good for Roy. And what Roy really wanted was for the country to see how his team has played the entire season just one time in the playoffs. And last night, he finally got it. He was
Roy's
so excited.
Like, I'm not a fraud.
Yes, right.
See, I told you this team. I believed, except I told him the other day because I texted him last night. I'm like, Roy, you've been scared the whole time. He's like, Dan, it's concern. And I'm like, no, it's fear. It's not concern.
No, it's not fear.
It was bullshit. You were wearing a mask.
You were scared last night, Roy.
Covered in bullshit. No, Verhaeghe, he was scared the last time Verhaeghe bailed them out. How is it Verhaeghe?
It was concerned.
I was very concerned.
No, I told him it's fear, and then I'm told there was a fist pump, and now last night, that's as good as that team can make you feel. Like that's as good as that team has felt in 25 years.
But it's also if you go back to Game 4 as well, you're on the road, you're down 3-2, and the Panthers do what they've done all year, which has been incredible. An empty net situation. It's been one of the best empty net teams in the league. They get I think that the Game 4 win is just as important, and you prove over 2 games
it's more important
that it's not going to be the same old story with this team when it's felt like that the entire series from start to finish. Like every game has had no, here we go again. We're a 1 seed against an 8 seed. This is not what we hoped it would be. But then you get an empty net goal on the road. You score a goal in overtime. You come back from 3-0 down. Like, this isn't the same old story. I hope.
Chris Cody, though, yes, no, I know you still fear, but when Chris Cody says,
we feel the lightning, Dan.
I could lift the car or I could lift the house. You have to understand that when we tell you the hockey playoffs are the best thing, the cool feeling of last night is okay. Everything's boiling now. You've made me care. The playoffs have happened to the Panthers for 4 games where it's like, oh, this is muck. This is muck. No, we're on the stage now. Let's show everybody what you saw all season, which is this team will club you. They will hit you in the face. They'll come at you with speed. They'll be up 4-3 and still come for your throat. They're not backing off. And what you got to see for the first time in the playoffs when you get moved by this stuff is oh no, now we're going to hit you in the face. No, here comes our team. Here, let's go, veterans. We're coming for the things that you love. We know what the playoffs are. Here, we want the series. We're at home. We got the crowd behind us, and we're just going to punch you in the face. We're going to punch you in the face with offense. And And then fandom kicks in, and it's first round, and you're crazed, and Chris Cody can lift a car.
Yeah, we've got bad blood now. A fight to end the game. A random hockey fight. Mantha versus Ekblad is about as unassuming a fight as you can imagine.
But Mike, who cares? Is there anything better than the entire bench standing up, sticks against the wall?
Sticks
I mean, is there
against the
anything?
boards.
It's the
Yeah.
best thing ever. Yeah.
It's stupid.
Oh no!
No, it's great.
come on.
You can't clap your hands with hockey gloves.
Yeah.
You can't.
Like the
You don't have
aggro.
the-
The aggro is enough.
We're about to kick you
You
off
don't
the
have
bandwagon, man.
You don't have the
We're about to
dexterity
kick
in your
you
hands
off.
to clap with the gloves. Have you ever put on
No,
hockey
no,
gloves?
no,
I don't
Yeah.
mean the stick tap. The stick tap is good.
okay.
I mean the notion of fighting.
Oh,
And
get
the
out of here.
aggro
Come
at the end of a
What are you-
game.
Get out of here.
It's just-
What are you
No,
talking about?
No,
look at
it's
you.
a contest. It's
Look at
all
you.
about-
He's
This is
a
for the next
different
game.
kind of person.
This is
I
for
mean,
the
just
next
leave him
game, this
alone. I
fight.
mean, yeah.
You know how Jonathan Huberdeau looks so handsome? Because he's got the Radko, the butcher, back there backing him up.
Scars, yep.
I mean, you just benefited from this.
Hubie's scrappy. He's scrappy though. Hubie can take care of
Tim
himself.
Reynolds just hit you into the boards, and guess who had your back?
Leave Tim
Old Paul
Reynolds
Laws
alone.
enforcement over here.
Leave Tim Reynolds alone.
Nope.
Excommunicado.
Jesus Christ.
I've invoked excommunicado, which means you all have to block him on social media.
It's
I
unbelievable.
did. I was
Brothers and
never
I'm like,
following
brothers
that.
and
Mike,
sisters.
it's not just that you invoked excommunicado. It's just stunning. It honestly,
It's never happened.
I was thinking at that moment, you know what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to run into the sea, and that'll be the end of our careers, because that's fine. It's a great hill to die on. Tim Reynolds taking sports and press boxes too seriously. Bouncing against that. If that's where we die trying to get into the hockey playoffs, that he won't allow us in because he's Tim Reynolds.
Legacy media.
His way of covering sports is the right way. I don't want to fight Tim Reynolds. I think he's a legend in this market. I also don't want to get swallowed by the hockey playoffs when basketball was so cool last night.
Should we read what he painstakingly wrote last night despite being disturbed by Stugotz and Chris?
No, I don't think you understand what excommunicado means.
we don't read his stuff.
I just want to know what was it that was at stake.
When you're excommunicado,
Yeah.
you're cut off.
Yep.
You don't talk about them. They don't exist.
Yep.
But, Mike, I don't know the next stage of this that you have now invoked beyond excommunicado, which I thought was the last of the communicados. Now you've also said, also as a bonus, not friends.
Ooh.
And not friends. When you throw not friends out there, there's no coming back
There's
from
no
that.
coming back from that.
Let's be honest. Tim Reynolds probably never viewed Mike Ryan as a friend.
But very
I mean,
clearly. Well,
yeah.
you know what? Feelings mutual. I thought we were
But
chums.
it wasn't mutual. It wasn't
No,
mutual before
something
this.
happened along the last few years.
This is the first round of the playoffs. This is what it does. It makes you crazy. It makes you. I don't know how Celtics fans feel today, but I can imagine it because that one hurt. Good God. Good God, Boston. I mean, that hurts losing that way. You brought it home. Al Horford brought it home. God damn it. You were going to take out Giannis.
It was a great strategy. Make anyone other than Al Horford beat you. I mean, it was a good job by the Milwaukee Bucks. What an amazing game. What an amazing performance. And I can tell you, Giannis is doing this the exact right way. He is doing this with Drew Holiday and Bobby Portis.
Okay, but Stugotz, okay, 5 things to talk about in that game. One of them is Marcus Smart is dribbling the ball off his face. Jason Tatum's open because Jason Tatum would have gotten a wide open 3, the best shot they could have gotten in that situation because somebody fell down. Never mind, we wouldn't have gotten any of the Drew Holiday stuff. We wouldn't have gotten it because there was a shot on the corner that was open for Tatum at the end of the possession, but Mike comes in here gloating today because he's like, see, that's why my team, I ride with my team. Spo rides with Jimmy Butler there, and it's Jimmy Butler, period, and that doesn't happen to Jimmy Butler. None of that. Never mind stripped at the end when you got Tatum down the field, and he's down the court, and he's open. Like, he's open there to say Boston season, have the hero moment, do what you did against the Nets. All of this keeps escalating. All the story keeps escalating. And Mike came in here skipping a little bit today because, Celtics, Marcus Smart got you there. Having Marcus Smart at the end got you.
I'm just saying, look, we've debated what Spo should do at the end of games a lot. And I think no matter what happens with the result, which is often just a clanging off the back of the hoop, is that Spo and Heat fans rest easy that it was, at least the ball was in the hands of our best player. You get cute, and you have Marcus Smart getting blocked at the rim, you're wondering, why'd we go to Marcus Smart? I could have lived with that. I'd have a hard time sleeping that night.
So the Connaughton is the guy who's guarding Marcus Smart. So I think what they were trying to do is they're trying to seal off the guy guarding Tatum. Smart drives and kicks to Tatum in the corner. But Connaughton was guarding Smart, and he blew past him so easily that now it's like, well, maybe I should just go up with this. But, of course, Jrue Holiday makes a great play by saying, I know I'm guarding Jaylen Brown, but I'm going to sag off of him. Pretty much what they were doing, the Celtics were saying, we're going to attack the weakest point. And what the Bucks were doing is saying, well, I don't trust his decision-making.
Yeah.
And as a result, going.
But they also trusted their length. They're one of the longest teams in NBA history.
Yep.
If someone blows by a defender, there's a huge arm usually there waiting to collapse on them.
Sure, but I think the big thing here is Jrue Holiday made the gamble that Smart is not a good decision maker. It reminded me of Game 1 against the Nets.
When he was a good decision maker.
No. See, this is what I said. The Nets guarded it too well. They should have just softly came out because he absolutely would have shot and missed it 100%.
He had no choice doing what he did.
Exactly.
Yes.
They played defense. They left him one option and one option only, which is to pass the ball. And in this case, because Holiday didn't come immediately, if Holiday comes immediately, then Smart sees and hits Jaylen Brown probably. But instead, he waited to the point where he knew Marcus Smart would not recognize the wealth of opportunities ahead of him and would just see shot.
I'm going to put Jason Tatum on notice. I am right now. I love Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum is going to win a championship, but enough with the threes. Like, seriously, the last 2 games, Dan, he is 5 of 21 from 3.
Oh, my God.
He's 18 of 32
such a
from
good
2. No.
Shooter, Stugotz, though.
Dan, he is 6'8", with ridiculous athletic ability, can get to the rim. Dan, listen to the numbers. You're a numbers guy.
Stugotz, if you want him to be Durant, I will. But if you want him to be Durant, you want
Durant hits 2s as well. He does.
But don't you want him taking and making the threes? No.
When he's off, I want him to go to the rack. He's 5 of 21 from 3 the last 2 games. He's 18 of 32 from 2. He's got a hurt hand. Like, stop taking threes. Go to the basket. You're 6'8". You're athletic. No one can stop you. No one has stopped you when you're taking 2s.
Okay, you've put him on notice. He's been put on notice.
Enough with the 3-point shots.
Okay,
He's not even that good at them.
I'll get to. I want him taking threes, but okay, I think he is good at them. I think him in his most feared form is taking and making threes.
And just so I'm clear, I love the kid. I do.
Stugotz, he 12 points in the fourth quarter last night, 4 of 8 from the field, 4 of 5 from the free throw line, did not attempt a single 3.
Okay, but he was 2 of 11.
But that's the part where the game fell apart for them. You realize
they were
up
right? 14 in the fourth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like when he stopped taking threes. I'm not saying they were up because he was taking threes, but I'm just saying when he started doing what you told him to do.
But when you start squeezing these games into these teams. I mean, I think we both look at these teams and say, man, those are pretty evenly matched teams, and they look very similar.
I'm not so sure. I mean, Middleton's not there. They're doing this without Chris Middleton.
But in this form, I think they're still evenly matched teams, and Jrue Holiday will get reputation now if he can conquer, if he can help Giannis get into the finals. What are you shaking your head about, Amin?
Every time we talk about Jrue Holiday, and I love Jrue Holiday. I'm doing the Stugotz now. I love Jrue Holiday. He's such a smart defensive player. He basically won that game last night with 2 back-to-back incredible defensive plays. But, man, offensively, am I the only one that goes nuts at the decisions this guy makes?
When he goes 11 for 30 or when
he does anything. Jrue Holiday.
He was 9 of 24 last night.
I mean, some of these shots he takes and some of these decisions he makes, it makes me just...
Okay, but if we're going to distill these games to these last couple of moments then, and Stugotz is going to be out here and we're going to be the fat old guys yelling into a microphone, Tatum, don't do threes, don't do us against those guys. Go get it. Go get it in the key. Go get it at the rim where it's the hardest to get, right? Like this is one of the things that's happening now. I want to get into Jimmy Butler because people are throwing around now the metrics for the playoffs, and they all show that Jimmy Butler's been the best player in the playoffs, like all the advanced metrics.
Amazing.
Beyond Ja Morant, beyond any of them, that he's the guy right now that's ruling the playoffs, that when he's on the court, he impacts the game most, and the Heat would have you believe that they've been priming the pump of load management and everything else to get Jimmy Butler's game, which isn't going to age very well if he keeps banging his neck against the rim like he's given the last couple of his years to. The dog of Jimmy Butler is given the last of his career to right here, right? You'll pay me $50 million in 5 years, but it's win now. with Jimmy Butler, and what he's going up against is Giannis and Tatum. And here's where you come with your heat culture buzzsaw, and can you get in there and whatever, beat these teams and then arrive at either Golden State or Memphis, because I want to get with Amin on the Memphis thing is super confusing, Stugotz. Like that team being better. It
really is, yeah.
That team being better without Ja Morant or more overwhelming without Ja Morant is a strange thing to see, and I want Amin's expertise on this. But as it regards the Heat, the cool stuff is here. I mean, like this is the fun stuff where the Celtics we're making decisions and it's Giannis, okay, at the end, this is for the game. We know you're a champion, but do you want to get Boston? Here it is. You're down 6 and you're taking threes that Stan Van Gundy, our friend Stan Van Gundy, is telling you not to take. Stan Van Gundy's telling you, Giannis, Stan Van Gundy, the game can pass Stan right there. And goddamn, Stan knows his shit. Mm-hmm. But he's saying, Giannis, don't take any threes. And Giannis takes threes that takes a three that rescues them. I mean, So walk me through all of that.
So, look, I found, and I don't have numbers to back this up, but I found when Giannis has his feet set and he's at the top of the key, that is his best chance at making a three-pointer. And so when he took that shot,
the top of the key three is his best chance.
That's
not the norm, though.
That's
right?
the one that he's most comfortable with.
Okay,
because the corner ones, there's a little depth perception thing.
Sure.
You have no chance of banking it in if you go
straight
too strong.
ahead, right?
Straight ahead. For some reason, that one he feels comfort with, and particularly given at that moment, they couldn't get any open shots. The Celtics defending them insanely. Again, we always talk about what's the measure of a good 3-point defense. It's not I made you miss a three. It's I made you not take the three. And that's what they were doing. They were cutting them off at the 3-point line again and again till they swing to Giannis, and that's the only one who the Celtics say, green light, go ahead and shoot all you want. And he had his feet set, and he was in his sweet spot, and he got it, and he hit it. Kudos to him. I think I think you're almost simplifying what Stan is saying. Stan isn't saying don't shoot any threes. Stan is saying go where the bread is buttered. Now, in that case, that's the open shot. We can't get an open shot for anyone else, and we can't get to the paint because they're clogging it in. I'd rather have Giannis take that shot than try to either go bull in a china shop all the way to the front of the rim with the paint packed like that, or even worse, where he takes those 2 dribbles and then takes an 18-footer, and that's contested. Like, those are worse shots than him just being set and open. And I think that's the thing that with all coaches and all analysts, we're never saying, oh, never, ever, ever do this, unless you're Shaq or something. But we're saying, like, overall, this shouldn't be your common go-to.
But I think what Stan is saying and was saying last night is what I'm saying about Jason Tatum, because Giannis is 14 to 22 from 2.
Right.
Like, he's unstoppable, man, and he's not great at shooting threes. Now, he did hit the 3, and, you know.
But okay, but don't break that bridge right there. He's not great at shooting threes, but he took a 3, and he saved their season at 3, and then now we get to laugh at Marcus Smart.
He also missed a free throw.
Okay, but we get to laugh at Marcus Smart today, and we get to laugh at the Celtics because they lost at home, and we get to do this dance of, ha, 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 Celtics, you're in a lot of suffering now. That's a pretty important game. You're the team of great tradition, and ooh, that one hurt. That one hurt at the end because Giannis made a 3 you want him to take?
I'm going to tell you right now, in 2008, game 1 of the first round, we played the San Antonio Spurs, and same thing. It was a close game, tight game, and in overtime, they ran high pick and roll with Tony Parker and Tim Duncan. And Raja Bell's guarding Tony Parker, and Shaq drops. And so Tony swings it back to Tim Duncan at the same spot. And Tim Duncan, A, is not a 3-point shooter. B, hadn't attempted a 3 all year long. So what do our guys do? Like, oh, okay, go ahead and shoot it. He shoots it, he makes it, and then he roars in a way I've never seen Tim Duncan roar before. And I can only speak for myself. In game 1, I said, oh, there ain't no way in hell we're going to win this series. And I saw the look in his eyes. I was like, oh, shit. And then he went into the timeout, and everyone was silent, even Pop. And Tim Duncan's like, yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, like if
Duncan did this.
Tim Duncan, it was insane to see.
The big fundamental.
Wait a minute. You're saying
I was a coward.
Hold on. No, not just a coward. You are saying that as you come up in basketball and you try to be somebody who thinks you're tough and I'm going to make it in the basketball industry, you're saying that a ball was swung around and Tim Duncan made a three, and his joyous fury at the bleep you of everyone in that arena for doubting what it took Tim Duncan to get to the point where he'd make that three scared you into running into the corridors of the building because he was roaring and chasing you out of there.
I didn't say this to anybody at the time. I was the video coordinator, so I was cutting this film at the time. And as soon as I saw it, I was like in my mind, like, there's no way in hell we're gonna win this. It was game one. That was crazy, and it was overtime. And it's like I knew then and there what I saw in his eyes was something that like we don't have any of that.
Did you stop, rewind, look at it again?
What do you mean what you saw in his eyes made you, Amin El-Hassan, front office executive, run and cower in the shadows in the bowels of the arena?
I was a video coordinator at the time. I wasn't quite yet a front office executive, but yes, Stugotz, I'm telling you, it's like when you get, you know how like sometimes you bump into somebody and hey, and you guys do the whole we want to fight thing. And like, nothing's going to happen or whatever. But every once in a while you bump it and you look at the guy in his eyes and you're like, oh shit, this guy really wants to fight. Like, I don't want to fight.
So you saw a side of Tim Duncan
Never.
No one has ever seen.
It was like, if it was anyone else, if Michael Finley or Manu or Francisco Elson had hit that shot,
you would have laughed.
And I would have like, yeah, whatever, dude. All right, look, do it again or whatever. But the fact that it was Tim Duncan, quiet, sweet.
He stomped after you. This is an unbelievable
You can
story.
look it up on YouTube right now. Look up how he goes,
It's the same look Tim Reynolds had last night in the press box.